Back at the home base for another edition of Make a Difference. I am Jared Phillips. He is Phil Martelli. Nice to be back inside, away from the rain. Although I will say last week's episode
That
was
was
quite a blast, but nice to be in the comfort of the living room here, I'd say.
no question, and it was that was special. That was special. But there's a lot of special things going on at all levels, whether we're talking about grandparents, parents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, high school kids, grade school kids. We have first communions going on, college graduation. So I wanted to take a moment just to throw some thoughts out there about graduation, year end. A lot of We're in May and there's a lot of year end activities taking place. Could be proms, could be sports banquets, could be activity fairs, all types of different things. So, what I would suggest to everybody, no matter where you fit on this participation, collect memories. There are things that are going to come up, and you're going to want to hold on to those and cherish those memories. Strengthen relationships. Like, look around and say, you know what, that got a little frayed because I played baseball and she ran track. But strengthen those relationships as you go into this May, June period. Really important. Extend gratitude. Thank you is the most powerful statement in the English language. It's underutilized by all of us. But at this time of the year, it's vitally important that we express it. If you're walking into a grade school that every day is clean, make sure you find the maintenance people, the housekeeper, the bus drivers, the teachers, the activity director. In college, maybe it's the dorm supervisor, but just make it a point. You'll make somebody's day, week, and year if you just simply stop and say, thank you. Thank you. And to follow our theme, thank you. You made a difference in my year. Celebrate now. Celebrate. That's what banquets are for. That's what graduation ceremonies are about. They're the celebration of achievements, whether it's your child's achievements, your grandchild's achievements, your niece, your nephew. But make sure that you celebrate. Recognize for everybody out there, particularly college seniors who go through graduation, that is not as uplifting as your high school graduation. Your high school graduation goes on for like, well, whose party's tonight? And then you keep going, right? It ends up being like close to 3 or 4 weeks of celebration. With college, they started in the morning at 10, and at 12 o'clock, you're in your car going, what do I do now? You are facing the unknown. In high school, it's different. Think about it. In high school graduation, Jared, for months, people said to you, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? Where are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going? When you're a college graduate, I'll be frank, nobody gives a damn where you're going now. Like, no one's saying to you, where are you going to work? You know, like you are facing the unknown. For a college basketball player, you have gotten free sneakers since you were in the 9th grade. Guess what? There are no more free sneakers. You're facing the unknown. We have to acknowledge that.
I need to piggyback off of that because I can give you the perfect example. My high school graduation, I believe, was June 9th, 2013. And I had that Friday, we graduated. That Saturday, the Bishop Shanahan rugby team flew down to Bermuda for the week.
Sure.
Yeah. One of the greatest trips I'll ever have. We get off the plane that following Saturday and we go right down to Ocean City, Maryland for senior week. So that's like how the high school graduation wraps up, the college graduation. That Friday afternoon, I get done at Temple and it's like, okay, well, you got a job yet? Or what's they just the complete 180.
No, it's over. That's why so many people skipped their college graduation. When you hear somebody say, well, I'm not going to graduation, you're like, yeah, I kind of get it. I kind of get it. But to those college graduates out there, to anybody out there that is in a year end of an activity, take a nugget, even if you write it down. That graduation speaker said something. Take one nugget. Just take one nugget. That band director, take one nugget. That cafeteria worker had a nugget. Take those. And as you're seeing, collect them all. Collect them all. And then the last thing would be this. You have to be prepared for the finality. The day after the school year ends is unlike the 180 that led before that, if you're in grade school and high school. It's unlike the 6 months that you've been in college as a senior. There's finality. And to get up on that next day, the day after the day, to say, now what? You're not going to have a productive day. If you're starting to plan and process that day, you have a day that's lost. So prepare for finality and know that it's coming. Celebrate, express gratitude, grab those memories and those nuggets. Then you could say, yeah, this is truly a celebratory time of the year.
I know one way you can prepare for that new day.
What's that?
It's by reading the Martelli Minute.
Nothing wrong with that. Good setup right there. Status Solutions Network is committed to making a difference by providing Alicia law compliant safety technology to schools through a grant of use, ensuring that financial barriers never stand between students and proper safety. Each community has the power to create real change. Real change. And that will come back in our guest segment too, right? Real change. Learn more at statussolutions.com. Statussolutions.com. Thank you for being with the Martelli Minute on our podcast for almost a year now. We thank you, thank you, thank you. Martelli Minute. Is your work ethic worth mimicking? Someone is always watching. Fast forward to our guest segment. That will come back. Is what you're doing worth mimicking? Your work ethic worth mimicking? Why? Someone's always watching. Many often succeed because they refuse to give up or give in. It's easy to throw in the towel, but success will not come that way. If you stay the course, many often succeed because they refuse to give up or give in. All of us have role models. What are you taking from your role models? And be honest, take good and bad. That's why they're a role model. No one's perfect. No one is perfect. But pick the good and the bad. No one has the power to dictate your attitude. Nothing has the power to divert your effort. So your attitude and your effort are yours. No one, no thing can move you off of those. Focus on the work, and the desired outcome results will come. That's a strong segment right there. Martelli Minute. Every morning at what time?
6:30 a.m.
On Instagram, Phil_Martelli. And put a little pin on the Martelli Minute because we might have news coming about that.
Okay. You haven't told me this, so I'm excited. It's a surprise even to me.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But what a way to get started for our guest segment. And I just want to make sure, can you hit me one more time? Our guest segment is now sponsored by
Shoot basketballs, not people.
Gary Mills. That's good people. That's really good people. Before we start this guest segment, which is going to be really going to move to the top, this is going to be the number one. And I'm going to explain that in my introduction. But the guest segment has been sponsored by Shoot Basketballs, Not People, SBNP. Gary Mills and his crew are doing exceptional work and have been doing exceptional work. He was with us a couple of weeks ago presenting it. I ran into him recently this week at picking up Nolan, my grandson, from a basketball practice. Gary was coming in with his team to play in a tournament. We had a great opportunity to share and to continue to spread that word. And if you can help, please help. He said there has been some good response, but we're looking to get people's time, talent, and treasures to help Gary and SBNP, they're out there doing it. One person, one kid at a time, saving them, using the basketball. So Gary, we know you're out there. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. We got your back. But today, started Make a Difference podcast with a name in my heart and in my mind as an example of who we want to feature. To be honest with you, Jared came and it was going to be a basketball, yuck it up type of thing. And I just felt more. There was more to Make a Difference, with always the goal of having today's guest on, because this person has given more than they've taken. They're comfortable walking and talking with kingmakers and living and breathing with the common man, which is almost all of us. But our guest has walked and talked with the biggest. But if you ask her, living and breathing with the common man is her legacy. A person who truly values every interaction as the most important interaction. That's a gift. That's a gift that we could all and should all emulate. And a guest who truly shares what is in their heart, you just have to look into their eyes. This is a superstar. We've had Hall of Famers, and we've had so many great people doing so many great things. No one matches up with today's guest. Sister Mary, welcome to Make a Difference.
Thank you so much, Phil. It's great to be with you.
We'd like to start this with, if you could just tell us your journey. There are people out there that they know your name, but they don't truly know your journey. Could you share that with us?
Sure. I guess my journey, especially related to my work, it started at St. Joseph's University, where Father Brady was there for a little bit, and he organized the Eucharistic Congress with a couple of students and other faculty, Maureen McCullough and Ayala, Mike Breen, Father Brady and myself, and we organized the second day of the Eucharistic Congress, which was Hunger for Bread Day. And it was through that experience that really ignited my passion for being in solidarity with those who are struggling or those on the margins of our society. And during that event, we hosted 4 amazing leaders at the time: Dorothy Day, Mother Teresa, Don Helder Camara, and Father Rupe, who was the head of the Jesuits at that time. And in that Eucharistic Congress, Father Rupe said, if anyone is hungry anywhere in the world, the Eucharist is incomplete everywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. And that has been my North Star for the rest of my life, which is 50 plus years. And in that journey, I've been really privileged to walk with and get to know people who have been unsheltered, as well as people who want to make a difference in our community and believe, as Pope Francis challenged all of us, to be part of one human family, where anyone that's in need, calls forth from all of us a response, like concrete actions for compassion and justice. And so, over the years, I've worked with Catholic Social Services at Women of Hope. And then in 1989, Joe McConnon and myself started Project Home, which our vision statement is none of us are home until all of us are home. And over the past 36 years, we've developed a little bit over 1,000 units of housing, some healthcare services, including primary care, dental, and behavioral health, as well as the Honickman Learning Center Comcast Technology Labs, which is education and employment for people trying to get back on their feet, from youth to, people who are elderly. And again, we've just been fortunate to meet such amazing leaders like John and Lee Middleton, who they're the owners of the Phillies and have really just made such a the largest contribution ever to people working with people who are homeless. They provided a lead gift of $25 million to really leverage and others to get involved to develop housing, as well as Lynn and Harold Honickman. And of course, our first gift came from the Conley family, which I'm sure you're very, very familiar with. So I guess that's a long way of saying, but over 50 years, that's the shortest way I can put it. It's been an incredible journey.
So, Sister Mary, you saved me big time now, because early on she mentioned the name Maureen McCullough. Maureen McCullough is a 1975 grad of Immaculata. It was college then. She's been a friend of my wife, Judy, for over 50 years. They just celebrated their 50th, I guess I can say it now, 50th reunion from college. And Maureen is the first person I called when I started this podcast and said, whatever it takes, I have to have Sister Mary Scullion on my podcast. She gave me the number and we connected, and here we are today. But Maureen is actually in Zimbabwe with the Sisters of Mercy on a service project, believe it or not. So thank you for mentioning her. And now I have to ask you this with humility, which I know you will not want to hear this, but what do the words mean to you when they call you the good sister, a gift to Philadelphia?
Well, I guess what it means to me is I'm really incredibly blessed to be part of such an amazing, beloved community here in Philadelphia. People, again, from all walks of life that are committed to making our city truly a city of sisterly affection and brotherly love. I love Philadelphia. I love the people in the Philadelphia region, and just feel very, very lucky to be a part of it.
I believe that every day, it doesn't matter to me if you're walking into second grade, if you're planning your college graduation, if you're driving a truck on 95, if you're on City Line trying to get to work at Broad Market, what it doesn't matter to me. All of us are given an opportunity every day to teach and every day to learn. My comment when I speak is, if you have a day when you can answer the question, whom did I teach and what did I learn, then go to sleep, because you didn't have a good day, you had a great day. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people, Mary, that you've come in contact with. Can you tell us a story about someone that's taught you? Someone out there where you thought, or not that you were going out to help, but they ended up giving you more than you gave them?
Of course. guess in the early days, there was a woman that who was labeled as the duck lady. She used to be Wanamaker's. She had Tourette syndrome and ended up living outside on the street. And she was a really strong woman, given her challenges, mental health challenges, physical challenges, emotional challenges. But anyway, we were able to get her a room not too far from Mercy Hospice, where I was working. And once a week, we go in there to bring her food and some supplies and things like that. And we saw that she had, in her one room, had brought in another homeless woman. And her name was Mary. And Marie, that was her real name. Well, Sylvia was her real name. Jacobson actually gave what little she had to somebody else. And the two of them lived in this like very small one-room efficiency and shared whatever, Sylvia had. It was, such an important lesson and really inspired me tremendously, because sometimes you think maybe you're doing something, but then to see someone who had pretty much nothing give it all to somebody else is really pretty remarkable.
Can you help us? How do we, the people that watch this, the people that pick us up and connect with, make a difference? How do we truly make a difference? How do we do for others what you've done for others, Mary?
Well, again, I don't even want to take that as like I've done stuff for others. I'm part of a community that does what they can. But what I've learned, like again, through my Jesuit and Mercy education, is a motto that says, finding God in all things. And I think through keeping your heart and mind and eyes open to the world around you, to the plight of people in need, and thinking about how best to respond, how best to be an authentic human being. Everybody will find their own path in that journey. And it's so important to find your path, like to be a voice and not an echo in life's journey, that no matter who you are or what you have or what you don't have, I believe, Phil, and that's why I really love your show, we can all make a difference, and we can all be transformed through that experience as well. It's just, if like true relationship is a two-way street. It's never one way. If I'm not different through my relationship with you, or through my relationship with someone that's unsheltered, or someone that's, a multimillionaire, through that relationship, we all are changed. We're all different. We all have an opportunity to grow and develop. Like you said, we can all learn something from one another, as well as, hopefully give something to one another.
You've been on the front lines, and I it's too dramatic to say, well, this is a war, but there's a battle going on. Mary, who's in that foxhole with you as you've battled every single day to bring dignity to all people?
One of the things I learned over the years is I have plenty to learn from people who I disagree with, as well as who I agree with. And I've learned the hard way sometimes that I have to listen better and understand and, be less judgmental around people, yet be strong and firm in doing what needs to be done. So I would say that, in the foxhole, like again, people from all walks of life, I'm with them in our search. And again, Dr. Martin Luther King described it, as well as Pope Francis, like being part of a beloved community where everyone is valued and everyone is respected, and there's room at the table for everyone. And trying to strive to be part of that beloved community is something that I learn and strive for each and every day. And I find, again, all different kinds of people, like it's, that's part of the joy and that's part of the growth, to recognize that, again, it's one human family and there's no exclusions. We're all, in it together.
Sister Mary, Project Home is such a terrific organization. You mentioned kind of at the top of this interview just the work that you have done and the donations that have come in, the pledging, the support that has come in over the years. What is next for Project Home, either in this year or just kind of moving forward to continue to battle this homelessness crisis?
Well, I think, as I passed the baton to Donna, who's doing an amazing job, Donna Bullock, who's the new CEO of Project Home, and the vast community of Project Home. I think there's some really core values and work that will continue and need to continue maybe now more than ever, and that's an advocacy for affordable housing. I believe to develop more affordable housing in a financially sustainable way, which is really, critically important. I think broadening and expanding the community of Project Home to include more and more people is another challenge. And I know that Donna and the team there are up for that challenge. And I'm so proud and grateful to be able to see how the foundation that Joan and I have laid is continuing to grow and develop and flourish.
We always close this segment with one question. Who's made a difference in your life, Sister Mary?
Wow. So many people have made a beautiful, amazing difference in my life. I'm just going to name three of them, okay? Because I can't just name one. But of course, Joe McConnon, who's the co-founder of Project Home. We've worked together for over 36 years. We started with nothing, and, with a vast community of people, have been able to develop Project Home to what it is today. Joan is the most amazing person, filled with integrity and intelligence and compassion that I've, really had the joy and privilege to work with. I think Sister Kathleen Sullivan and the Sisters of Mercy, I feel so grateful to be part of a community of women that strive to be mercy in today's world. And then last but definitely not least, I think Lynn and Harold Honigman, who, started with us at Project Home in our very beginning years and opened the doors to the Jewish community for us and for the people that we serve. But Lynn and Harold have grown to be some of my closest and most treasured friends. So I'm lucky to have the three of them and many, many more people that have made a difference in my life.
Well, Jared, as I said in my introduction of Sister Mary Scullion, it was this is exactly why I said yes when you asked about the podcast. So, Mary, thank you. You don't want to be, but you're a standard. And as long as that standard is out there and we are all striving not to match you, but to supersede you, we're going to make the Philadelphia area the shining example throughout this country on how to take care of each other. So thank you for what you've done and what you will continue to do.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you very, very much. And good luck in all your endeavors as well.
Well, Jared, if you remember back to that first conversation, that's not fluff. I did want Sister Mary. I didn't know exactly how to get to her because, like we said, she walks and talks with the kings. I knew she was moving aside with Project Home. So to track her down, and at this time of the year, with all that has gone on behind the scenes, Councilman Isaiah Thomas, Gary Mills, the community people that have talked to us about Coaches versus Cancer, that was a superstar. Sister Mary's a superstar. So thank her again.
It's really, truly touching to see someone that is just so actively, I can't put it any simpler than make a difference, right? Like seeing an issue, seeing something that is plaguing our society and affecting people, to just be there with boots on the ground at the grassroots level and be like, I need to find a way to help people. I need to, I mean, the homelessness crisis in America is probably the biggest issue we face. I think, to me personally, and the way that Sister Mary Scullion has attacked that for, 50 years now is just truly, it's all inspiring. I'm at a loss for words for it, because we just spoke to truly a legend.
No question.
It's
No question about it. And I'm not a cliche kind of dude, but that cliche, and I'm going to mess it up, but that cliche or a joke or whatever, the riddle, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And think about that. The elephant was unsheltered people, hunger. So what did Sister Mary do 50 years ago? One bite at a time. Thank you again to what we want to be. We want to be those that make a difference. We just talked to the Hall of Famer and making a difference.
That's exactly right. Now, we do need to know, because a lot of people have been asking, where in the world is Phil Martelli?
Well, we got a lot.
Yeah?
Well, we go back.
No off season.
Where was I? The baseball fest was tremendous. I'm a little disappointed you didn't catch that foul ball. Like you didn't bring your glove. I don't know what you were
My glove
thinking.
is in the car. I thought, because I knew you were going to be so locked in the pot. I might have had to snatch one over your head. I was a little worried, but that actually, that was really awesome. I was mildly, I think I told you, I was like, there's like a non-zero chance that we might have to like duck out of the way at some point in the middle of this podcast. Pop fly comes out our way, but we were lucky. We were good.
It was terrific. The next day I had a chance to go to Coaches versus Cancer Walk, hosted by Brian Campbell up in Chesterbrook. And to see those people Saturday morning, after some had been at the Coaches versus Cancer Gala, where Vince and Callie Curran had been honored. Some had been at the Lansdowne versus Cancer, which I was happy enough to go by, and Billy Stevenson and Duke Patton doing great things. $7,000, $8,000, $15,000. They just keep going up and up and up, because we're going to find that magic dollar. Monday, I had the chance to go on a national podcast, National High School Basketball Coaches Association. All things around basketball not just recruiting, but skill development and being a part of your community. Just a chance with Dave Archer and my guys from Michigan, Dan Young, to spend time on their podcast was terrific. Drove to Lancaster to speak to Community Associations Institute, the Keystone Division, Pennsylvania, Northern Delaware, and some of South Jersey. Just great. Like, who's the head of a homeowners association? Who are these people? And they were there. The managers of big apartment complexes, they were there. And I had a chance to speak, and maybe 300-400 people. Lancaster Community, or Lancaster Civic Center. Great opportunity. Met a lot of superstars there. Came home, went to the Great Guy Dinner. Paul Eisenberg ran his Great Guy Dinner. And they were celebrating their 20th year. Their guest speaker was Jim Kelly, Hall of Famer Jim Kelly. So Fran Dunphy and I were able to assist them with their paddle raise, and it was a lot of laughs in that room, a lot of laughs and a lot of stories. But we got in and out of that. Saturday morning, Frank Sciola and the Pennsbury high school coaches, boys and girls, hosted a Coaches versus Cancer clinic. Fran Dunphy spoke, and I spoke, and Cindy Griffin, the women's coach at St. Joseph's. And then had a chance on Sunday to go to First Communion with Nolan Jeffries. So a shout out to Nolan Jeffries. And I was at St. Mary Magdalene on Friday and on Sunday. And I have to applaud everybody there. They have a lot going on. But the thing that threw me over the top was the kids themselves singing the hymns during Mass. It was really, there's a real spirit. There was a real spirit. So I'm appreciative of where I've been, but maybe it pales in comparison to where I'll go. And with two special announcements to end this.
I do have to give two quick shout outs. Well, I have to give one shout out and ask one question. Number one, shout out to Justin Kessler over at the Philly chapter of Coaches vs. Cancer. I don't know if there was anyone busier last weekend running between setting up the gala to running back down to FDR Park to receive the check for the baseball fest. And then he's got the 5K on Sunday. I don't know how he did it this past weekend, but I mean, kudos to him. Impressive stuff. And I just had to chime in here. Obviously, the Great Guys Dinner. You were an auctioneer, or were you rattling them off? I want to know how that looked.
First, let me just answer that question. You know, there's two jobs in America that everybody can do. Everybody can do them.
What's that?
You just have to ask them. If you go to a gathering and say, "Hey, can anybody here coach?" Everybody would raise their hand because we all do it. We manage the Phillies every night, or we watch a game and say, "I would have done that." So everybody can coach. You just have to ask them. The second thing, think about this now. Everybody can auctioneer. They think that takes no skill. So they say, well, who can help us auction off this house for the week in Ocean City? Oh, I can do it. But
you think it's easy, huh?
No. I'm saying that's what everybody thinks.
Okay.
Right? And then they do it, and they're like, did you bid? No, they have no idea of how skillful you must be to manage that. No, this was a paddle raise. So for $10,000, how many people, and everybody had a paddle, and they would raise it, and Fran Dunphy and I were reduced to rattling off the numbers for the 10 or 12 young women that were in the crowd. And it went from $10,000 all the way down to, would you be willing to donate $10 a month for 12 months? And it would help with grocery bills or whatever that $10, the magic that $10 would. But those bringing hope home, Paul Eisenberg, Tim Sherry, Lisa Booth. They've been doing it forever. And here's a little nugget. The very first Great Guy dinner was at the Desmond Hotel in Malvern, PA. Who attended that one and who attended their 20th the other night?
Was it Jim Kelly for both?
No. Mr. Larry Phillips.
Oh. Well, I know you ran into Larry. I just didn't know if
and the crew from the barn.
Oh, see, now we're talking.
Yeah,
Now
see
we're
that?
talking. I'm gonna see the crew at the barn tonight for the
All right.
record. Yeah, the Hoops is still alive and well at the barn.
Well, just, they'll mention, I had a couple of they were auctioning off a Ben Simmons 76er jersey, but they said it was game worn. I said, I don't buy that. Not game worn. Maybe game issued, but not game worn. That's not nice.
It's funny though.
Yeah, that's.
So where are you headed?
Where am I?
Because you
headed?
got some news. You said.
Oh yes. Well, next couple of days I'm going to be venturing off on my own to Richmond, Virginia, to consult, and I want to. I am not coaching at VCU. I have a coaching consulting business that a couple of schools use this year. One of the schools signed up for next year is VCU. So I'm going to go down there and we're going to have 3 2-hour segments with the entire staff and just want to identify where can I help? Where can I help? What can I do for you to each of the individual coaches and spend some time. Then I'm going to come home, regroup. Then I have a chance to go to Atlanta for the NABC coaches clinics, spring coaches clinics that culminates in Vegas, run by Tom McDonald, a tireless worker. And these clinics are on court, and you just marvel at these coaches, high school coaches who have just finished their season 6-8 weeks ago, and they gather their staff and they come to learn and that idea, just one nugget. We mentioned it earlier in the show. One nugget to take you forward. Sunday, though, Mother's Day. So every mother out there, every godmother out there, every grandmother, I am one, and I'll start this push. There can't be just one day, right? There can't be one day. For mothers, let's extend it. A week, a month,
the year.
A year. But all the moms, and on this, and it's poignant on this one, I know you miss your mom on that day and every day, but you hear her, don't you? You hear her.
That I do.
So the idea for mothers, relax. You know what? We got you. Well, speaking for others, they got you. And I'm looking forward to that celebration with Judy and with Elizabeth, and from afar, Julie and Megan, and just very, very, very appreciative of all of the moms that I've had the wonderful opportunity to come in contact with. So everybody out there, take care. We don't have like swag or anything, like make a difference. Like that would be pretty cool to present to your mom.
We can work on it.
Yeah,
right? we can work on it.
Maybe
we're not going to have
year.
it for we're not going to have for this Mother's Day.
Maybe next year.
I have a pretty unbelievable, I would say, post Patty Ann Mother's Day story with Big Larry and the boys that I think I'm going to save it for next week, though.
Okay.
But we'll get back to it. We'll touch on Mother's
Please.
Day and at the end of the next show and do a little recap, because I have a story that I think you're going to get a kick out of. I just need to figure out how to tell it without the I would say I need to tell it in a way that won't probably get us banned from YouTube with the number of expletives that were used in this story.
Wow.
So yeah, but it's a fun one. I have to craft a little bit, but you're going to enjoy it. I promise you that.
And then a couple of projects. Even this one came to me in an idle time over the weekend was this. What if Make a Difference? What if Make a Difference combined with the basketball world to present this idea? What if we went to Delaware County, Chester County, Montgomery County, maybe 2 sites in Philadelphia? And what if we were to present to them coaching clinics for youth coaches? What if we were to join with the CYO, the Philadelphia School District for middle school coaches? And what if we were to spend 3 hours? Pennsbury just did it last week, as I said, for Coaches versus Cancer. What if Make a Difference put on coaching clinics that the CYO 5th and 6th grade coach, boys and girls, 7th and 8th grade, they all have B teams. All of their coaches came, and we just said, it can be uncomfortable going to your first practice. Here's a couple of ways to engage young people. Why? Save you time as the coach and respect the young people and their families' times. It's brewing in my head. And we're going to have several conversations this week with this becoming a possibility for next spring. Make a Difference coaching clinics geared to youth coaches. What's your reaction?
I love it. I love it. I wish you would have told me before we were on the air with it, so I'd have we could hash this thing out a little bit. But hey, if you're just spitballing right now, I mean, as an idea and as a concept, it's terrific. It's an incredible way for me, I think, as we kind of continue to grow this thing. We want to get out there. You know, we got a lot of ideas in the tank, and we want to execute on a lot of them. We're executing on some of them bit by bit, but man, that would be awesome to get out there and feel like, you know, like you said, we want to make a difference. And not only it might be in the classroom, it might be it might be on the hardwood, it might be in the workplace, wherever we can do it. And I think one of the easiest ways we can do it is helping that next generation get ready to play hoops.
Yes. So, and then the last one is this.
You got 2 for me.
I have 2. So here's the second one. The Martelli Minute. Because I have thousands of them upstairs. Maybe, I'm going to say conservatively, I have 2,000 of them in my office.
That's unbelievable. How do you keep coming up with so many?
Well, because I read every morning. I get different pieces of information, and I read it, and I'll glean what I want to take out of it. What would be a point that I could take forth from that, and then I write it down and put it in my file, and I rotate the file. But I did it for 5 years while I was at Michigan, or 4.5 because COVID. I stayed in touch with the coaches, the staff, and the players on a daily basis. What if, this has been now in a proposal form, what if I took those and I wrote one down? And then I gave you a book of 100 of them with a paragraph that says, this is what, here's an example. Not taking anything away from the free Martelli Minute on Phil_Martelli Instagram. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about going back, looking at the statement from June 15th, 2021, putting that down, writing a paragraph about it, putting them together, and now you have 100 of them. You have 100 of them. And then there could be another edition and another edition and another edition. But
so you're proposing a Martelli Minute book?
Oh, no. Well beyond proposing. I am preparing a Martelli Minute book. Preparing. To the point that the publisher and I have had conversation. We have moved this over the last 5 or 6 days.
So there's movement on this.
There's movement. and we're out there searching bookstores to say, the one idea was a calendar at one point, and then somebody said to me, all the calendars are on your phone and computer. I was like, oh, so people don't have them on their desk anymore, and I found that out.
Would you do a calendar shoot? Like
No,
the guy was going to say to somebody want 12 months of
we won't do that. But just a couple of things while I'm retired. I have to think of things.
I don't know where you find the time, man. I don't know where you find the time. That just about does it for another absolutely just powerful episode of Make a Difference. Thank you once again to Sister Mary Scullion. She was unbelievable. Be sure to check out Project Home. The work that they are doing is so terrific, and it is so powerful. The way they have been able to combat the homelessness crisis in Philadelphia and beyond for so many years now. An incredibly just powerful organization that has been doing real good difference making work. And once again, thank you to our friend Gary Mills and Shoot Basketballs Not People. If you do want to get involved with Shoot Basketballs Not People, head on over to joinsbnp.org. That is where you could possibly donate, become an ambassador, a partner. There are many different ways to get involved. Gary is using basketball and youth education to fight the gun violence epidemic in Philadelphia. It is incredibly inspiring work. We are continuing to work with him through the end of May. And we have some other stuff in the pipeline with Gary that we can't quite talk about yet, but it is going to be some awesome events we have coming up in the future, because frankly, he is, like I said, one of the biggest difference makers we have in the Philadelphia community. But it's tough to say if there's one bigger than Sister Mary Scullion. So our thank you again to her as well. Just if you are looking to get in touch, by the way, with Phil, if you're looking to make a difference, and you don't have to start a Project Home.
Nope.
There's small ways to make a difference as well. Feel free to head on over to pnjmakeadifference.com. And if you're looking to follow us on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, we are at Make a Difference Pod. We're at Make a Diff Pod on X. We are Make a Difference with Phil Martelli on Facebook. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to like and subscribe. And go ahead and give us a 5-star rating on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, wherever you may be listening. Phil, I got nothing else, man. That was, like I said, a powerful episode.
Thank you, Sister Mary. Thank you. You make a difference every day in every way.